There may be explicit language in today's episode. Viewer discretion is advised.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Tailgate Talks. This episode, as always, is sponsored by Defrisher Recycling and Junk Removal. More on them later. Gentlemen, another day.
Listen,
Another dollar we don't make from AdSense.
listen. The first things we say have nothing to do with this. Well, kind of does, but it's not our takes about this coming Monday against the Texans. Just gonna put that out there now. However,
Yeah.
you people that are up in arms once again, so happy, and so confident now that the Steelers can win, are the same people that chanted "Fire Tomlin" a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
And I hate to break it to you guys. Alex, let me ask you this question. Embrace
All
it
right,
too.
shoot it.
But the only reason why I say Alex is because we've had these conversations with this show for the last 3 years. Take out the division title. What has changed compared to this year to the last 2 years?
Nothing.
Also, is anybody going to talk about how Lamar drove right down the field before that missed field goal?
And shocker, how we had no timeouts left because Mike Tomlin's game management is terrible. And for some reason, Aaron Rodgers just either wasn't able to or wasn't willing to just call a play when his headset was
could've.
malfunctioning. Like,
He could have. I would trust Aaron Rodgers to call the plays.
yeah, why don't you just call a play?
Yeah, call
Like,
the
it's
play.
that, just call something.
And
I think. Go ahead, and then I'll say what I was going to say.
disclaimer, I thought Cam Hayward was tremendous. I thought
He was the best player on the field.
Played his heart out.
He was incredible. He was incredible in that game. And I was like, I think he's like the only one. Oh, Aaron Rodgers and Kenneth Gainwell too. Those are like the only ones that wanted to come and that wanted to win on Sunday, to be totally honest with you. I guess TJ Watt too, because that interception was pretty sick.
JPJ's been locked down though. It's hard to say he didn't come and play too.
Yeah,
He
but,
wasn't.
like,
He wasn't the one that got burned on flowers.
Yeah, but here's the
No,
thing.
he wasn't.
But here's the thing, though, too. That secondary, if that does not get cleaned up on Monday, CJ Stroud is going to have some fun.
Well, it's perfect that you said that because that's what I was going to say. Think about it. The Browns game. Duggar misreads that ball to Fannin. 4th down, Lamar throws it up to Isaiah Likely. Jalen Ramsey misjudges it. Completion, missed field goal, obviously, but the secondary specifically, outside of JPJ and Pierre, have been, in my opinion, bottom 5. It's been atrocious.
It's
So-
honestly a fair statement. Like,
I mean,
Kyle Duggar has his moments, but we all know Duggar's not, like, his main thing isn't pass protection. It's not pass coverage. He's fantastic in the box. I mean, that one play where he came up and, put Derrick Henry on his back by himself. That was one hell of a play, but that's his thing. Like, his thing isn't amazing pass coverage.
let me ask you both something now that I think about it. Everybody was thrilled that we traded Minka for Ramsey because everybody thought that Ramsey was going to be the savior. What's the difference?
Ramsey's just a better hitter, and I would say probably even at this point, I think he's got slightly better ball skills than Minka does.
Do you think having Minka instead of Ramsey changes the season whatsoever?
I think that trade was like null. Like I didn't see. Like I don't think that trade honestly changes much of anything, if anything at all.
I kind of have the same opinion as you, so that's why I was wondering what you thought.
Yeah, because I mean that's what everyone said. Like I feel like all of media in the preseason when we traded for him was like, okay, you traded a 29-year-old safety for a 30-year-old corner who's probably going to play safety. Like,
Yeah. And also too, John Harbaugh was fired yesterday, which is like, man, if that kick would have went in, would we be talking about somebody else today getting fired?
I don't think so. I don't
Probably
think he
not.
would have. I don't think he would have gone. I think the thing that would have happened though, if that kick went in, is I think we're really talking about does Tomlin walk once his contract expires at the end of next year? I think that would be a
Here's the thing
much
though.
bigger conversation.
Well, here's the thing though. If we lose to the Texans, are we still talking about that?
I think it's still a conversation, but I think it's less than if we have terrible game management, give up a game-winning drive, and lose to miss the playoffs entirely.
Also,
I think it's similar though.
Baltimore fans, I get it. You're mad. You're upset you lost. The kicker, Luke, in his DM, leave him alone.
Leave the poor kid alone. Like
Leave him
it's really
alone.
not that deep, dude.
Seriously, it's not. I understand you're upset, but sending him death threats, saying you hope he gets divorced and stuff, jeez, leave him alone.
Telling his wife that she still has time to leave, like, dude,
Yeah.
come on.
Yeah.
Baltimore, by the way, this is why like at least half of the league hates you. For all of my sober-minded friends that are Baltimore fans, I'm sorry that the vast majority of your fan base disrespects all of the rest of you like that, because that's unacceptable.
Right. No, for sure. But yeah, seriously, I said the same thing on Twitter. Nothing's changed. Now, if you beat the Texans, maybe. But nothing.
The narrative starts to slowly turn.
Turn, yeah. But until then, nothing's changed. We got lucky off of one kick. And I know people are gonna say, "Oh, but what about Aaron, Gainwell, JPJ, Cam, TJ?" Yeah, they played well, but that does not that change the fact that we got lucky that the kick didn't go in.
Also, let me just quickly mention the fact that, funny enough, these two teams are from the same division. But the two hottest teams, I would say, going into the postseason at this moment are the Houston Texans and the Jacksonville Jaguars. The Jags have been hammering people the entire second half of the season. They've been playing amazing. I know they weren't playing for anything against Tennessee in week 18, but they hammered the Titans like to an unbelievable degree. And Houston's on like a 10-game win streak. They're like 7-2 on the road. They have one of the hardest strength of schedules in the entire league. Like, we are hosting a very battle-tested football team that has arguably the best defense in football. So, like, for anyone that thinks like this is just going to be like, oh my God, because that's like the one difference, right? The one difference from this year compared to years prior is that we get the home playoff game. So I'll concede that point to people that are willing to say, you know, oh, we get it at home this time. We're not going to Buffalo, to Kansas City, to all these different to Baltimore. Like, we're not going to other places to play these playoff games. So I'm willing to concede that point, but still, Houston is a very, very good and battle-tested football team. So it's not like it's going to be this massive favor for us.
Here's the thing. If you're a stats / odds guy, you'd love this matchup because the Steelers haven't lost a home game since 1991 on a Monday night.
Yeah.
And the Texans are 0-6 on the road in the playoffs. Something's going to give. Which one's going to give?
You love those odds, right? Are the Texans going to get their first playoff win, or are the Steelers going to keep
their streak
defending home?
I mean, 23. Hold on. So 1991?
Yeah.
So that would be 26 years. No, 25. Holy shit. Crap.
34 years.
Jeez Louise. So 34 years.
Is that really true? Have we really not lost at home in Monday Night Football since 91?
That's what everybody's saying.
Hold on, let me look.
Yeah, verify it because I saw it on Twitter, looked it up, and as far back as I scrolled, it was true.
There's one in there that people forget about. In 2020, the COVID season, we lost to the Commanders Monday Night Football at home.
Okay, so anyway, most people probably throw that out for COVID, but that doesn't excuse the fact it's still a loss. But I don't know. I think something's going to give. I mean, it'll be exciting to watch, to say the least, because the Texans really don't have a great run defense or a run offense. But C.J. Stroud and Nico and Schultz and Higgins have quite the connection. So the secondary is going to be put to the test again.
I'm just I am just tired of people saying that this team is special, this team is this team is that. This team has proven nothing to me.
No.
It hasn't at all.
No, we still need to win a playoff game, and then we can start talking a little bit.
Yeah. So if you want to get your hopes up, that's totally fine and up to you. You are entitled to your opinion, but if you actually use your brain, you will realize that nothing has changed until you win a playoff. We said before the season, I'm not making any predictions until we win a playoff game. Nothing's changed. Yeah. Nothing's changed. Guess what? If we would have had 11, 12 wins, I'd be like, oh, cool, improvement in the record. I still want to see a playoff win.
Yeah, because even last year we won, 11, 12 games last year, I think? Or was that a 10-7 last year? I mean, when's the last time we won? Like, we went 12-4 in 2020. That was the year we started 11-0, and then we got hammered by the Browns at home in the wild card. So, like, even the point of it being a home playoff game, like, isn't really as big as it could be, because last time we got a playoff game at home was after we started 11-0 and then went 1-4 the rest of the regular season and got hammered by our division rivals at home under the lights. So that point doesn't even carry as much weight as I was willing to give it initially. I don't know. Yeah. I won't feel any kind of hope for this team unless we manage to win against Houston on Monday night.
Yeah, pretty much. That's how it goes. But yeah. Also, in other news, can't believe I predicted it right. Trae Young has officially requested a trade out of Atlanta.
Yep.
And I am not surprised. But he wants to go to, I mean, the Hawks are, don't get me wrong, and don't mind me, I need a protein bar, I'm hungry. I'm not surprised, to be totally honest with you, like I said, but at the same time, the Wizards, he wants to go to, the Wizards are on his top of his team right now, or where he wants to go. And the Wizards are currently at 10 wins, and the Hawks are currently at 17. And it's like, yeah, cool. But here's the thing though. If you actually look at the Wizards, they add Trae Young, add a couple more pieces. They may not be that bad. They have Alex Sarr, Justin Champagnie, Bob Carrington. Of course, I'm going to be biased because they're pick guys. Then you add Trae Young. Man, you add a few more pieces. You're like, we could be talking about the Wizards in a few years. Honestly, this is probably a terrible take, and people are going to call me an NBA casual, and that's fine. But I look at the Wizards this year, if you add Trae Young, and not as explosive and exciting because of the personalities, but I'm talking play wise and adding pieces and stuff. I look at them as the Giants of the NBA. You add a few more pieces, you're probably set. As I clearly forgot to add the timestamp of when I started talking about this. I haven't done that in a while. But by the way, peep the new gaming chair. So comfortable.
Oh, heck yeah. I forgot about that, dude. That thing's awesome.
But yeah, I'm going to miss Trae, obviously. But like I said, I on this show, I warned the Hawks the last few years. If you do not build around Trae soon and start winning soon, he's going to leave. And he's leaving. unless the Hawks force him. Well, no, that's a lie because if they don't trade him, then he'll walk. But and you do not want him to walk. I'm telling you right now,
No,
you do
no,
not
you
want him to
don't.
walk. But yeah, so I'll miss Trey, and now my jersey streak is still the worst ever. My jerseys consist of Trey Young, Steelers Kenny Pickett, Minka Fitzpatrick, Najee Harris,
Jesus.
Jamison Tyon, Jake Gensel.
Didn't you buy a Pickett jersey too?
Yeah, I already said that.
Okay, I missed that one.
I think that's it. The ones that people that are still on the team, I have Letang, Reynolds, Cruz, and TJ. So yeah, this is why I don't buy jerseys anymore. So you will not see me buying a Paul Skeens jersey anytime soon. But yeah, college football playoffs. Obviously, Alex, I'm sorry. Losing to Miami by 10. Definitely, probably. Well, 2 interceptions, but
I was gonna say, can I say one thing about that?
yeah, go ahead, because I need to get back on this wink, wink, nod, nod business.
The moment that I saw, rather, that Ryan Day was taking back over play calling duties, I knew we were cooked. Like, I'm not even gonna lie. Like, the moment I saw that he was gonna be calling the plays, I was like, oh God, this is either gonna go just horribly bad or surprisingly well, but like a 70% chance of it going horribly bad, and that's what happened. The past 2 games being the Big Ten championship and the first playoff game that Ohio State played this year really exposed the fact that Julian Sayin was just not ready for a team that could put him under pressure. In my opinion, at least, he looked a little bit shell shocked whenever he was actually able to be touched in a game and like sacked and have to make throws under pressure, have to read the field quicker. It very quickly became apparent to me that was going to be something for him to work on in the offseason going into next year. And I'm disappointed for sure. But at this point now, I have no stake in the playoff anymore. And honestly, I'm shooting for I don't even know if this can happen. I can't remember for the life of me which sides of the brackets are which, but I'm pushing for like an Ole Miss Indiana natty at this point. I think will be pretty sick. So shout out Lane Kiffin for leaving for LSU to go to a better contender in the SEC. And now Ole Miss is in the semifinals. That's hilarious to me.
I think I watched that game, Alex, and I think it's tough to really talk about how bad it was. I have a friend that defends the play on that pick six that Sayin threw.
Mm-hmm.
He said you can't blame that on the quarterback. That's a 2-step drop, throw it and read, which I understand his point. But an experienced quarterback, if he sees that guy just kind of hanging out there and kind of creeping up, he's not going to force that throw. And if you watch it, the snap was okay, wasn't perfect.
Yeah.
Took him a second longer to get the ball out, which gave that guy more time. I feel like a more experienced quarterback in that situation probably doesn't throw that ball, probably throws it over his head and throws it away.
For sure. I think Will Howard probably does that.
For sure.
But Julian's young. He's, freshly 20.
And freshman of the year, by the way, at 20 years old.
Yeah. Was under a lot of pressure, obviously, and I do think that was just a horrendous play call from Ryan Day as well. That's the kind of stuff that you throw a bunch during the season, and he was under so much pressure in that game from Ruben Bain putting up, I think, probably one of his most impactful performances when it comes to his draft stock, by the way. I don't know how you call that play and don't expect them to be ready for it when Julian has no time to throw down the field. Miami's freshman corner, by the way, I forget his name, absolute stud. Animal was on Jeremiah Smith and Carnell Tate man to man like all night and was just making play after play on the ball to knock it away whenever Satan was trying to get the ball to those guys. Shout out to him. He's a monster. He's going to be fantastic. He's going to probably be a top 5 draft pick in 2 or 3 years. Yeah, I think that's such and that's why Ryan Day being the play caller scares me so much, because I don't trust him to not call plays like that in those situations.
He went with what he was comfortable with. He kind of called it conservatively. You could feel that. He didn't let. I mean, it still didn't. In theory, though, he was aggressive to a point. I mean, his aggressiveness was, you know what? I think we have an alien on the outside that'll make the catch over anybody and anything. So let's throw it his way.
Which is a very justifiable play call.
Exactly.
But again, that kid from Miami just played his heart out in coverage. He was unbelievable. And like I said, Ruben Bain, man, I mean, I get that Ohio State's O-line wasn't, full strength or anything like that, but the big concern with him in some spots was the run game and the way he was stacking and shedding and creating an edge and forcing the run back inside and then making the tackle on top of that. He's not just forcing it to a linebacker who's scraping and covering the gap. Like, he's setting the edge, stacking the block, shedding, and then making a TFL. Like, unbelievable level of play from Ruben Bain in that game. And I'm going to take this moment to get on my soapbox for a second here. For, I think, quite frankly, all of college football. The top 4 seeds in the college football playoff in the first 2 years of the 12-team playoff format are now 1-7 so far. We need to find out a way for the first round bye receivers to not wait 25 days before they play another football game. That needs to be adjusted, because I think any fan of any team that gets a top 4 seed in a first round bye will agree with me that is just way too long to go without playing a football game.
I can see your point. I think the most logical thing to do would be kind of do what college basketball does, because they have the formula and their viewing, because of how they run that, is crazy. And now, obviously, you're not going to have a 24 seed win it all. That's not going to happen. You're not going to have probably a 16 seed win it all. But if you run it 24 man, the 8 highest seeds get a bye, then you rank conference champions based off that. Run it. It starts the weekend after Thanksgiving. It is done by the second week in January. And then you can play the national championship and other bowl, or you can play the other bowl games, throughout that time. Unless you just do an NIT tournament, kind of like they do. Get, I don't know, other teams that were on the cusp but didn't make it, throw them into the equation. I think there's definitely a better way to do it.
Yes, Carl Jr. I mean, Mike. What do you got?
Does Pitt make this tournament?
What was
they
Pitt's
would
record this
actually.
year?
You sure
Pitt
about
would
that?
have made an NIT for college football if there was one.
Yeah,
They
that's
have
what he's talking
declined
about.
it?
The NIT.
Would they have declined it?
No,
No, I can't imagine that.
but I
And
do think. Go ahead. Well, I'll
I
say
think
it real
it's just
quick.
I think it's so dumb. I think the reason that they haven't restructured the college football playoff is because they're trying so hard to work around the NY6 bowls and everything. Just leave
Mhm.
them where they are, and then make the playoff sooner. Like, it's.
I agree. The other thing to me is Harbaugh said this for the longest time, and I'm not saying I'm getting behind what he's saying, but I kind of see his point. If you want to incentivize more people to play in these games, in bowl games specifically, and other things, look at what college basketball did this year. I forget what the tournament was called, but it was in Vegas, and Michigan ended up winning the tournament. And as a collective group, they got, I think it was $1 million in NIL money that they got to share amongst each other. Like, if you incentivize these guys with NIL money to play in these games, or in the NIT, we'll call it, they're going to be more inclined to play. Because I know Texas, Michigan, just from the graphic they showed, however many guys there are on a roster, I couldn't tell you right off the top of my head, but there was at least 35 people amongst the two teams that didn't play.
Yeah.
Incentivize those guys to play the game. They obviously, everything's about money, even though I disagree that it's all about money. I think prestige and other stuff really comes into play. You have to incentivize these guys to want to play. And right now, teams are going to be probably not trying to win their conference championship or get that 1, 2, 3, 4 seed, knowing that bye is coming if you don't change something.
Yeah.
The only other thing I want to say about the Miami-Ohio State game is I tried to tell everybody, but nobody listened to me.
Well, and before the season, I think I said, I have to go back and look. I'm pretty sure I said in our preseason poll, Bryce,
You did.
that if there was one team that I thought would be scared, or maybe it was after they beat Notre Dame in that first game of the season. I'm pretty sure I said if there was one team that I was really scared of to face in the playoffs, it would be Miami.
Yep, you did. I remember you saying that. It was them and Texas Tech were the two teams.
Yeah, and I think I had Notre Dame kind of on that cusp too.
I think the one thing that's true with the buys is I agree 25 days is a lot of time to wait. But I also think some of that falls on the coach getting the guys prepared to a point.
Yeah, it's such a tough balance too, though, because it's like, okay, how much is over practicing? How much is under practicing? Like, it's such a tough balance. And it's like you can train and practice perfectly that entire 25 days, have everyone at the peak balance of their physical and their mental health and everything, but they still have not played a live football game in almost 4 weeks.
Yeah, that definitely hurts. I think
like,
the other way you can look at it.
Yeah.
Go ahead. The other way to look at it is, so you had Oregon beat Texas Tech. That game was even split, no matter how you look at it. It was a toss-up. Obviously, Oregon was probably more favored in a lot of people's thought process because even though I'm a Texas Tech fan-ish, the Big 12's weak. Then you look, Indiana's been a juggernaut all year, beats the balls off of Alabama. That was a 1 versus 9 matchup. Not too far-fetched with how the final score came out. Ole Miss over Georgia. I mean, people forget that these two teams played in the middle of the season, and it was a one-score game.
Crazy.
That's not too far-fetched. The one that was most far-fetched was obviously Miami beating Ohio State. But the thing is, Miami peaked early, came back down to earth, and then they really started to peak at the end of their season again.
They got hot at the right time for sure.
Whereas Ohio State was more like Indiana, where they really didn't play. I don't want to say they didn't play anybody because they played Texas. And that was a bit for Ohio State. And Indiana played Oregon, and I think that was about it for them too. But I don't know. I think that there definitely could be a restructure in how they do it. And maybe it's just changing the whole format in general. I don't know what the answer is.
I'm not saying it has to be anything crazy. Like, I'm just saying, okay, can we find a way to cut out, let's say 8, 9. Let's say, can we find a way to cut out 8 or 9 of those 25 days of waiting for the first round bye? Not saying it has to be like 6 or 7 days. Like, I'm not saying it has to be cut down to, shut up. I'm not saying it has to be cut down to a week. I'm like, make it like 2 weeks.
I think I agree. Like, if these other bulls could agree to something, dude, it is Christmas weekend. The weekend, everybody's home on Christmas weekend. I don't care who you are.
Yeah.
That Saturday and Sunday, you're probably at home spending time with your family. Imagine if we had the second round of playoffs. Friday, 2 games Friday, 2 games Saturday. You got NFL Sunday. Like, that is like a dream slate for round 2. Those winners go. Whoever wins these 4 games that are played, they go to the national championship. They get a week off. They play January 1st.
Now, something I did just think about that does add a wrinkle to this. I'm not sure if this is still exactly the way it is with the current landscape of college sports with NIL and everything. But I'm going to reach into my sports law a little bit here. There is some form of requirement from NCAA governance for student athletes to be able to go home for the holidays.
Okay. Even
So,
if
yeah, that again, I'm not positive on how that works now. That my knowledge on that's probably a bit dated, probably about 2 years old now. And obviously a lot has changed in the landscape of college sports in the past 2 years. But from what I remember and understand, there is some sort of governance in collegiate sports when it comes to student athletes and break and stuff like that for the holidays. So that is another thing to consider. There's a lot of complications when it comes to collegiate sports, especially because we're trying to get this transition from student athletes being students first and athletes second to it being pretty level now, where it seems that academia and athletics are on a much more level field than they were before. So I'm not exactly sure about how that would work.
I think Herb Street said it the best on College Game Day this past weekend. Put Nick Saban in charge. Let him figure out the proper way to do it.
Been saying it, dude.
Everybody's been saying it. Just let it happen. Like, we can still have the college football committee where everybody comes together, but let Saban be the commissioner of it all, and let him kind of dictate what fits the best. You know he's going to be fair. You know he's going to have. He has time. He knows the sport. Like, I just think something's going to have to change, or else you're going to really start seeing teams not care so much about going undefeated going into the playoffs. They're going to be like, let's try to get in as a 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 seed and see what happens from there.
Yeah, and plus, like you said, like, we can find a way to restructure this to, like, re-incentivize people to care about bowl games again. Because, like, bowl game culture is dying.
Mm-hmm.
Like, don't get me wrong, there's still turnout. It's still a big deal for NY6 bowls and stuff like that, but the culture of bowl games with an expanded playoff now is really starting to die down.
Yeah, and I mean, I think the thing could be expanded. I honestly think the playoffs could be expanded, because I'm going to tell you, I
would be okay with 16 or 24 personally.
I think that if you throw, even though
16 probably.
Diego Pavia lost to Iowa, which I absolutely loved.
Yeah, Big Ten.
And who else lost to the Big Ten? Pretty much everybody, except Texas, of course. You know, there was only 3 teams in the Big Ten that lost their bowl games. USC, Michigan, Ohio State. But I definitely think that Texas could have got in, and I'm not gonna lie. I think Texas really could have given Ohio State a run too, if they got in. Where, like, I think it could definitely be expanded this year. There's definitely years in the past where it's like, no, this is pretty cut and dry. These are the only teams that are ever going to compete. But I think as NIL expands, it's really going to change the aspect of the game. And I think if you don't grow with the game, you're going to see, kind of like Notre Dame, even though they did it in a sore loser aspect, you're going to see more people sit out of bowl games and be like, no, I don't care. I'm not getting paid to play this game. There's no incentives to playing this game. My draft stock can only get worse if I don't perform well in this game. What's the point? Or you're going to see a bunch of freshmen, sophomores play that nobody knows.
So I'm going to give I'm going to lay this out for both of you, because I think you'll both have some say on it based on what it's going to be compared to.
Oh, hold on. I dropped something.
What do we think about? Actually, I'll hold my thought until Bryce comes back.
I'm here. Yeah, I just dropped something. I didn't want to have to.
Oh, okay. So this is something that Klatt talked about a few weeks ago on the Joel Klatt show. It was actually probably like a month or 2 ago at this point, that he said something about this. What do we think about if it was a 16-team playoff, but 20 were in contention because the bottom 8 play-in games? So 16 officially make it, but the bottom 4 play against teams that are selected as a play-in.
I can get behind that.
I think it kind of goes back to where we're at now, though. Like, if you have a team that plays in and then you have another team that's on a bye, you're still looking at that 21-day no game thing. It would have to be you have everybody matches up, nobody gets a bye, and then you have these play-in games to fill into this spot.
Here's what it does solve, though, at least partially, because there's always going to be subjectivity and there's always going to be complaints. But this would partially solve the whole my team should have made it over this team narrative, where it's like, okay, the playoff not only has more teams, but now you play in a game. If you're a team that's on the cusp, like Notre Dame, for example, who has been very loud and proud and annoying as hell about them not making the playoff, you get a team like Notre Dame who's on the cusp. they get a chance to play in a game that directly impacts their ability to make the tournament instead of this pure system based on selection committees and stuff like that. Obviously, you still have to be ranked high enough to qualify to be a play-in team or be selected to be a play-in team. But then it gives people more of a feeling of like, I get a chance. Because like for like teams like Ohio State and Indiana, like we knew they were going to be 1 and 2. If Ohio State won the Big Ten championship, they were going to be 1, Indiana was 2, and vice versa. But for the teams that are on the cusp of it, it gives them, outside of their conference championship, or well, it probably wouldn't be conference champions, but let's say there is like a G5 conference champion, like a Sun Belt conference champion or an AAC champion, something like that. Like it gives the teams who are on the cusp of making it a direct motivation to play a game that could get them into the playoffs.
And what do you do about bowl games then? Because I had a thought while you were saying that. Change the bowl games, dude.
Yeah, I mean, that would be the one complication, right? The bowl games would be the one complication with that. But if you just shift some of those bowl game schedules, so the losers of those play-in games can like turn around the next week and play in a bowl game.
Mm-hmm. That was kind of
probably.
But my other thing too is with bowl games, dude. Like I love that they play on Monday night, Tuesday night, because a random Tuesday night. Hell yeah, I want to watch Miami, Ohio throw it down against some school I've never heard of.
Yeah, and well, that's because that's the other thing too, right? Is like this would also be a good way to determine like, okay, these teams were playing a play-in game to make the playoffs. Maybe we could make that like part of the bid system for NY6 bowls, even.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, those teams that were good enough, because that's pretty much the way it works right now, right? The teams that just barely miss the playoffs are usually the ones that make the NY6 bowls. Like, that's just the way it works. Mm-hmm. So if we have these play-in games, those teams that lose their play-in game and don't make the playoff get first dibs on NY6 bowls.
Yeah, and I think the other thing is too, like I'm a huge fan of the bowl games, dude. I love it. I love sitting, like I said, I love sitting down watching teams that I haven't watched all year just beat the crap out of each other to win the freaking, I don't know, Route 76 Highway Trucker Bowl. Of course I want to watch that.
I want to watch Southern Miss hang 50 on Ball State in the Duke's Mayo Bowl, dude. Like, what are we talking about here? Come on.
The hard thing is though, I can't do that if they decide to play that game at 1:00 on a Wednesday afternoon out of nowhere. So I think the other side of things with this is with bowl games is make them more accessible. Like obviously nobody's going to be able to sit down and watch a game on December 28th at 1:00 in the afternoon.
Yeah.
Unless you take that whole week off for Christmas. Which I'm in favor of them passing a bill that everything in America shuts down for the week after Christmas just because. But make them at like 5:00 one game starts, 7:00 one game starts, and then 9:00 another game starts. Like if you make these bowls more accessible with more exposure, you're going to have more people interested to watch.
Obviously, there's only so many days in a week, but at least if it's Tuesday, but it's Tuesday at 7 p.m., like. People will watch that.
Yeah. And like I said, I think that also comes with incentivizing. I definitely think that if we sat down for a day, grabbed a couple of ice cold waters, and maybe some properly humidified cigars, we could figure this whole thing out ourselves.
We could fix the landscape of college football in a day.
And we could get the engagement to the top ever. Like we could get it fixed.
Some adult carbonated beverages.
See, I think I'd prefer some Johnny Walker Blue. I don't know about you, Alex, but
absolutely.
But we can figure this out. I think it definitely will go in the right direction. I do. So I'm excited to see what happens. Last thing I have to say about college football is Tennessee fans, I tried to tell you, you guys are the only team this year that did not beat an FBS school, was what the stat I saw. There was not one game that you guys won this year that was anything. I mean, literally, let's just, since I'm on the soapbox and Tennessee fans and I have been beefing all year, let's look at our wins that we have, Tennessee Volunteer fans. We beat Syracuse, trash. ETSU, trash. UAB, trash. Mississippi State in overtime, trash. Arkansas, trash. Kentucky, trash.
TSU is
New Mexico
is that
State.
Eastern Tennessee State University.
That is correct. New Mexico State, trash. Then let's move on. Florida, trash. And then our last one, we didn't win another game the rest of the year. Which one of those teams is above 500 that you beat? Name one. You can't. Y'all dog, bro. Thanks for tuning in and engaging on my reels all year. I tried to tell you, but you didn't listen. Better luck next year.
Alex, pay the bills so we can start talking about the playoffs.
Oh God, that was great. That was fantastic, Bryce.
Quit it.
This episode of Tailgate Talks is sponsored by Defrisher Recycling and Junk Removal. Defrisher is a family-run business out of Greenville, PA that provides services such as vehicle purchasing, scrap metal purchasing, appliance removal, junk removal, garbage services, dumpster rentals, curbside pickups, house garage and building cleanouts, and demolition around the Greenville and Pittsburgh areas. If you or anyone you know are in need of these services, check out the links in the description down below. Check out Defrisher's website or their Facebook page. Get in contact with them today. See if they provide their services in your area. Thank you to Defrisher for sponsoring this episode of Tailgate Talks.
Well, we're in the NFL playoffs now. I will say the only thing that I can not be confident in, but say that's probably going to happen is the Steelers losing on Monday. Other than that,
I disagree, but continue.
nothing's changed. I'm not changing my mind until we win.
It's going to happen.
I've seen nothing. But
You got to have ball knowledge. It's going to happen.
do we have Dom or do we have Bryce on here?
Listen, Dom's thing wasn't, I mean, it wasn't great to make me think. I just feel different. It's not the Buffalo Bills that we're playing. It's not the Chiefs that we're playing. You know, like, it's the Texans. The Texans also lost almost every single one of their games to playoff teams. So it's a battle of who's mid and who's going to lose next round, but they're going to win. One of the teams has to win this round. The Texans have a better defense, yes. I would argue the Steelers have a better offense. The Steelers definitely do not match up well on defense, but the Texans do not match up well on offense. So I don't know. It could be a fun game.
Win. That's all I'm gonna say. But in terms of Super Bowl matchups, the Rams got to be in there. They got to be. If you put me on the spot right now, give me Los Angeles. Screw it, Buffalo. There is no. If they don't do it this year, they're never gonna do it. If this is not the year Buffalo does it, they're never gonna do it. I'm calling it right now. There was literally. But if I put you two on the spot, what teams would you go for?
Let me look at the picture real quick to see what the path is going to be for each team. I think out of the AFC, you're going to have the Pittsburgh Steelers. I'm kidding.
Yeah, no way.
I wanted to get you guys worked up. Well, we know it won't be the Panthers or the Steelers. We can definitely knock those two out right away. The 49ers are very appealing because Fred Warner could be back. I'm going to say that you're going to see out of the NFC, you're going to see the Eagles. And out of the AFC, you're going to see this is tough. Don't really like Knicks. I'm going to say Eagles, Bills.
Alex. Actually,
Mm, 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 mm,
I have an
mm.
idea. Alex. If you would like to reveal your Super Bowl matchup in your tier list, you
Well,
could do that.
I'm gonna go through my playoff picks first, and then I'll do tiers.
Oh wait,
Because
wait. When's the first? Oh, Monday. Damn, we should have did that today. That's right.
anyway, I'm gonna do my playoff right here, right now. Ah, all right. Yeah, Rams, cool. Um, uh,
Please
Kyle
save the
Shanahan's
Steelers for
usually good for a playoff game. I'll give that one to them.
Please save the Steelers for last.
Jordan Love, not gonna win this one. Sorry. Uh, mm, yep, that one's pretty easy. This one, it's hard not to take the favorite. Give me the Jags over the
Wow.
Bills. They're so red hot right now. And give me Texans. This is where things get interesting. First of all, give me the Seahawks over the Niners. Rams Bears is crazy.
That could be a playoff. That could be a Super Bowl in itself.
Yeah, it could be, but the Bears defense is kind of bad. Give me the All-American Matt Stafford. This one right here is Jags Patriots. Feels like 2017 all over again, just in the divisional instead of the championship. I'm a lunatic. I'm doing it. Give me Duval versus Broncos. Now,
I think it's interesting that you think both of the teams that get a bye are going to make it.
I do. This is where things really get interesting.
Bro, let me tell you something. If Jacksonville makes it to the Super Bowl, I don't even want to think what Tony's gonna do.
I know. It's insane to think about. Ugh. That's what's pulling at my heartstrings. Ooh. Give me it. Rams Jags Super Bowl. Matt Stafford officially a Hall of Famer. Give me the Rams over the Jags in the Super Bowl.
Might as well keep your tab open.
Let me just make sure.
Your share screen.
Yeah. Okay, I'm good. Yeah, I'll just go right to my tiers then. All right. Final
Okay.
tiers of the season. Week 18 has concluded, which means this is the
Are you a
last
big
one.
fan of that heated rivalry show on HBMX?
Oh yeah, 100%. I'm also exploring alternatives for my crippling opioid addiction, obviously.
I'm glad you
Uh,
decided to seek help.
And I'm looking to get a new Dell PC while I'm on that as well.
Ooh.
You know, all that money that I'm not spending on opioids anymore can go into that new sick PC
Good
and everything
Lord.
that I'm gonna watch Heated Rivalry on. All right. First tier, obviously, been doing this for a couple weeks now. Eliminated. These teams are all officially eliminated from the playoffs. The playoff picture is officially solidified. This, like I said last week, again, is incredibly weird. Commanders, Bengals, Cowboys, Lions, Chiefs, Bucks, Ravens. Crazy to see all of these teams are out of the playoffs this year. Not even participating, not even a 7 seed or anything. It's crazy. Next, cannon fodder. Sorry, Panthers fans. I really hate to do this to you. It's been a mediocre season that managed to get you in the playoffs. Let's be real here. But yeah, I mean, you make the playoffs. Cam Newton will be mad that he's not the most recent Carolina Panthers quarterback to make the playoffs anymore. He'll probably cry about it on his podcast or something. Or tweet in that really weird font that he tweets in. I don't know. Who cares? Next.
Or take a shot at Drake May for no reason.
That too. Next. Might give the Texans a scare. AKA the Pittsburgh Steelers. I don't think we're going to win, but probably, Steelers at home. It'll probably be a solid 15-12 game. Probably more likely than not. Whatever the over-under is on the combined points, take the under. It's probably just the easiest money you'll ever make in your life. Next. Probably won't happen. I think Harbaugh has done a good job with the Chargers. They do get back Omarion Hampton. The O-line's still bad, though. Herbert still has very little time to throw. We'll see if him and his weapons can make it happen. But going to New England's going to be a tough task. Next. Time to throw. CJ Stroud. Does he have at least 1.75 seconds to throw the ball? If so, it's probably going to be pretty good. Biggest dark horses. I know I said that the Packers weren't going to do it in my playoff prediction that I just did a moment ago, but Jordan Love as a 7 seed, we've already seen him do a crazy thing. Went into Dallas, was the first 7 seed in the NFL to ever win a playoff game. And then Caleb and the Bears, I think, are very capable of being good this year, possibly even making it to the conference championship or to some the Super Bowl. I don't think it's going to happen, though. I think that defense is a little too iffy. Next, the Prince's crowning moment. Jacksonville Jaguars have been waiting for this moment ever since Blake Bortles and Saxonville went crazy in 2017. I know I have them lower, and I just predicted them to go to the Super Bowl, but realistically, when it comes to the field of teams, I think this is an appropriate place for them in the playoff picture. I kind of made up a heart pick, sending them to the Super Bowl, but we'll see. Throw the ball! Unlike what Richard Sherman said, Jesus, Philadelphia, if you just throw the football like 24 times, you can probably win the football game. Just throw the dang ball. I just keep thinking.
Throw the ball.
Next, Kyle Shanahan. I think this tier is pretty self-explanatory. Kyle Shanahan, quite a good coach in the postseason until he gets to the Super Bowl. We'll see how far they go this year. Next, no more joshing around, boys. This is the year. No Ravens, no Bengals, no Chiefs. If there was ever a year, this is the year for the Bills, which unfortunately coincides with that probably being the worst Bills team that we've seen in 3 years, funnily enough. We'll see, though. Next, is Sean Payton like that? He has won a Super Bowl. That team is very good. But is he like that? Can he get the job done? Might just be able to. And Devontae Adams dependent. Devontae Adams is coming back for the playoffs. He will be healthy. Well, healthy as healthy can be recovering from injury at this point in the season. But if he is very good and Puka's very good and the run game is good and the defense is good, like they have been all year, then yeah, they're probably back to being Super Bowl favorites like I thought they were for most of the year. And finally, probably the Super Bowl. Again, I know my playoff prediction that I just did looks completely different than this, but these two teams are just really good. New England already went in to Denver this year and won by 2 scores at one point, so it's very possible that they could go into Denver and win again. Seattle is very good, Sam Darnold dependent, and we'll see how it goes. This playoff is wide open, and I'm very, very excited to watch every single football game from this playoff. So that is the tiers, the final tiers of this season. I will be doing this every single week of the year next year, so it shall return. But for now, gotta retire the tiers for the season. That is it.
It's very interesting, Alex, from that tier list. So the biggest discrepancy in terms of what the betting odds are right now is where you have the 49ers compared to where the betting market does.
Yeah.
The betting market has the 49ers at third to last in terms of winning. You have them at like 5th or 6th on the list.
Yeah.
So that's like everything else pretty much lines up pretty much right as how you had it.
Yep.
Pretty much. But,
I mean,
yeah.
I just hope we don't see like a freaking Seahawks Texans Super Bowl. I don't want to see a 3-0 Super Bowl.
No.
I want to see a 38-34 absolute brawl.
Doggo.
We have a Doge appearance.
Hey, Doge, why don't you read us out?
Yeah. pay
Throw the
bills.
paper.
Come on, words. Speak.
Come on, boy,
words.
throw the paper.
All right.
Words.
That it? That all we got?
Yeah,
I mean, what else even
no,
happened in the
that's
world?
it. That's it.
Nothing else happened?
I don't think so.
Crazy.
Well, for the final time this episode of Tailgate Talks is sponsored by Defrisher Recycling and Junk Removal. If you or anyone you know are in need of their services, check out the links in the description down below. Go to their website or their Facebook page. Get in contact with Defrisher to see if they provide their services in your area. Thank you, Defrisher, for sponsoring this episode of Tailgate Talks. With that being said, good night, America.
Go Pens.